The story is about a girl named Linshi who loves going to the mountains and enjoys hiking there with her friends. One day, she takes them to a very high mountain, and after reaching the top, she walks right towards the edge, as she was excited to show them how close the clouds look. Her friends instantly get frightened after seeing her standing so close to the steep cliff, so they pull her back to a safer spot on the path. Linshi gets frustrated but has no other choice than to give up, and soon the group starts trekking down the mountain as the sun is about to go down. But their journey is interrupted when they find a snake lying across the path in front of them. Everybody watches in fear as the snake slowly rises up while lifting its head and long body from the ground. It rises up so high that it becomes taller than Linshi, and the group stands frozen while watching it in silent fear. Linshi's heart begins to race, and she becomes terrified. She starts crying, as her neighbor has once told her that anyone who sees a long snake dies soon. Linshi believes her life is about to end soon, so she decides to do some good deeds before she disappears from the world. She wanted to do something for her friends, so she decided to take them to the library to permanently borrow their favorite books without the plan of returning them. With their help, she enters the library, where she notices an unfamiliar boy standing quietly in a corner. Linshi panics and runs away, but when she reaches home, she finds the same boy sitting at her dining table with her family. She learns that his name is Jiang, and he is just transferred to her middle school. His father is Linshi's father's boss, and since both families are good friends, Jiang will become her new neighbor. Linshi starts feeling anxious as she worries that Jiang might reveal her book-stealing plan to everyone. She decides to act nice and become his friend to get in his good books, pun intended. When Jiang joins her school, everyone thinks he looks stylish and impressive. His personality is very different from Linshi's, who is lively as well as mischievous, while Jiang appears to be quiet, reserved, and low-key emo. Linshi not only starts treating him like a younger brother, but also asks her friends to welcome him well and take good care of him. She introduces him to everyone in her class and tells him about each one of them. As the days pass, her curiosity about Jiang grows stronger, as she has noticed a deep, mysterious sadness in his eyes, so she wants to understand him even more. One day, Linshi overhears her parents talking about Jiang and learns that he used to have an older brother who was highly intelligent and a math genius, but unfortunately, he died in his childhood. Her parents were talking about how this tragedy almost caused Jiang's parents' relationship to break at such a point that they even started considering a divorce. However, Jiang brought a new hope into their lives, and after he was born, their relationship managed to survive. One day at school, the teacher asks everyone to write the meaning of their names. Linshi explains that her name was earlier Ling Tao, which was given because her mother loved cherries at that time, which she later changed to Linshi. Each of her classmates' names also had special reasons, but only Jiang did not know the real meaning of his name. Linshi does not like this and decides to help him, so she looks up the meaning of Jiang's name in the dictionary that night. The next day, she rushes to his house and tells him the meaning of his name. Linshi then takes Jiang to a hilltop to cheer him up a little and see the sunset, but unfortunately, the sky was cloudy, so they could not actually see it. Still, they simply enjoyed the moment together. The days pass, and Jiang's birthday arrives, so his father gifts him a black watch. Although Jiang did not like the gift, he said nothing and accepted it. At that moment, the doorbell rings, and as soon as he opens the door in a sad mood, he finds Linshi with her friends, who had come to celebrate his birthday. All of them had brought black-colored gifts for him, even though Jiang did not like black at all. It turns out that it was only his brother's favorite color, and his parents wanted him to like that color as well. Jiang celebrates his birthday with everyone and starts spending more time with Linshi. Because of Linshi, his personality slowly begins to change, and before they can even realize it, the two of them become the best of friends. They even start taking care of a rabbit which they found, and name it Poo Poo. Everything was going well until one day when something unexpected happened. As soon as the winter vacation ends, Jiang's mother arrives to take him back to the city. Jiang did not even say goodbye to anyone, and Linshi felt very sad after learning that he was leaving. When Jiang's car started moving, Linshi and the other friends ran behind it for a long distance. They did not want to let him go under any circumstances, and Linshi, especially, did not want to be separated from him. But fate has other plans, so Linshi lost one of her best friends, and she knew she would never be able to forget him. 5 years pass in the blink of an eye, and during this time, many things change. Linshi, who who once spent every afternoon surrounded by friends, is now a high school student. But one by one, all her friends have moved to the city, leaving her as the only one who continues living in the village. One day, while she sits in class trying to focus on the lesson, she suddenly drifts into a dream in which she sees Jiang returning to her with the same warm smile he always had. When she wakes up from her sleep, she learns that her mother has come to the school to meet the teacher. As she waits outside the office, she overhears her teacher telling her mother that Linshi is a bright student, yet lately she does not seem to concentrate on her studies and spends most of her time writing letters to her old friends. Her teacher sounds worried, as she believes that Linshi is slowly drifting away from the world around her. When her mother steps out of the office, she does not scold her at all, but instead, she tells her in a soft and guilty voice that she fears Linshi has been left alone in the village because of the family's decisions. Linshi simply smiles and assures her mother that she never feels lonely and genuinely enjoys living in the place where she grew up. After returning home, Linshi takes out all the letters that Jiang once wrote to her and keeps them safely in a small wooden box. Those letters describe everything he experienced in the mountains after leaving the village, and reading them always makes her feel as if he is still close to her. The next morning, just as she gets ready for school, she receives a call from Shinny, who sounds anxious and tells her that the letters she sent to Jiang should not have been sent at all. When Linshi asks her the reason, Shinny suddenly goes silent, refuses to explain anything further, and ends the call without another word. Hearing this, Linshi becomes deeply worried, and to find an answer, she immediately goes to the city, determined to understand what has actually happened. When she enters Jiang's school, all the students begin looking at her strangely and whisper among themselves, wondering if she is the same girl who writes letters to Jiang. At that moment, Jiang also arrives there, and finally, after 5 long years, the two of them are seeing each other again. They keep standing silently, staring at one another for a few moments, and Linshi finds herself unable to meet his eyes, as she is unsure of what he might say. But when the students ask Jiang who the girl is and whether he knows her, he responds without thinking and announces that he does not know her at all. Hearing this breaks Linshi's heart completely, as the boy she always considered her best friend has refused even to recognize her. His words give her a deep emotional wound, and unable to bear the humiliation and shock, she runs away from there in anger and pain. Linshi becomes extremely upset, and her breathing starts growing heavier and heavier. As she sits on the railing to calm herself, a woman standing nearby assumes that she might do something harmful and immediately brings her down to take her to her own home for safety. When Jiang reaches that place while searching for her, he learns that Linshi has already left, and the thought of his past actions fills him with regret. He realizes that it will not be easy for Linshi to forgive him now. Soon after, Linshi decides to meet her friend Luchan to understand what is truly happening. When she asks him about Jiang, Luchan explains that Jiang does not talk to anyone in school, and that one of the letters she sent him was read aloud by a classmate in front of everyone. Because of that embarrassment, Shinny had tried to stop her from sending any more letters. While they are talking, Jiang also arrives there with a girl named Xingyu. Luchan quietly tells Linshi that Xingyu is considered the most beautiful girl in school, and many students often pair her name with Jiang's because both of them are toppers of the class. Learning this makes Linshi even more heartbroken. Soon, her parents also reach the city, and after observing everything, everyone suggests that Linshi should transfer to a city school so that she does not feel isolated anymore. The next day, her friends take her to a secret hangout spot, and after spending a joyful time there, she heads back home with them. On the way, Jiang approaches her and tries to speak, but Linshi's mood worsens after seeing him. Filled with anger, she asks him directly why he said in front of everyone that he did not know her, and Jiang replies calmly that, at that moment, it felt like the right thing to do. Hearing this makes Linshi even angrier, and she sarcastically tells her friends that a black cat has crossed their path and they should take another route. She ignores Jiang completely and walks away, but even after reaching home, she finds no peace. In frustration, she goes straight to Jiang's house and begins throwing stones at his window, just to release her anger. But even this does not cool her down, and as she turns around to leave, she sees Jiang standing silently behind her. Taking control of her emotions, she tries to appear strong and tells him that she has come only to clear a few things. She explains that the letters she sent were not love letters, and nowhere did she write that she liked him. She says she wrote to him only to share everything that happened over the past 5 years, and that the most important thing he needed to know was that the little rabbit they raised together had died. She adds that Luchan, Yuchang, and the others are her friends. But Jiang is not, because he shared her letters with others, which she considers a terrible act. She tells him firmly that she will never forgive him, and that from now on, they will behave as if they never met. Jiang listens to everything in silence, and simply tells her that he understands and she may leave. Linshi storms off in anger, but it seems like Jiang was deliberately ignoring her, as his mother was watching everything quietly from their window to keep a constant eye on him. Linshi receives admission to the city middle school, and her parents permanently move from the village to the city as well. In her second year of high school, she is placed in the science class, and interestingly, Zhang is in the same class as well. He has become a member of the National Mathematics Olympiad team, and his father feels proud of his achievements. He tells Zhang that Linshi and her family have moved here, and since Jiang's mother is away, they should organize a dinner party for everyone so they can meet old friends again. Everyone gathers at the dinner party. When Jiang sees Linshi, he hides a smile, feeling quietly happy. During dinner, he makes sure she is comfortable, but Linshi refuses to speak to him and keeps her distance, still unwilling to forgive him. The next day, Luchan and the other friends take Linshi out, but she feels strangely uncomfortable. The girl who once used to be fearless now finds herself nervous, as if this new city does not belong to her. The following day, Linshi reaches school, where the class teacher introduces her to the class and then assigns everyone an English conversation exercise. Linshi immediately raises her hand to participate, and the teacher then asks the class to volunteer to become a partner with her for the dialogue exercise. Seeing his chance, Zhang raises his hand without hesitation while claiming that he would like to help her in that exercise. During the activity, Linshi asks him what memory stays with him the most. Zhang begins explaining that when he was younger, a friend once took him to see the sunset, and in that moment, he realized how beautiful his name truly was. Linshi instantly understands that he is talking about the sunset the two of them once watched together, but she feels that those memories no longer hold any meaning because Zhang is not the same person anymore. She simply replies that she has no idea what he is trying to say and sits down without expressing anything more. After class, Linshi talks to Shinny and asks what Jiang meant by that conversation. Shinny tells her that Jiang still has feelings for her and he has never moved on from his past. She says that Jiang has never been able to distance himself from her emotionally, but Linshi refuses to accept any of this, thinking that there is no point expecting anything from someone who once denied knowing his childhood friend in front of everyone. Even though Linshi keeps her distance, Jiang keeps looking for opportunities to approach her. After class, when she goes to fill water, Jiang follows her and asks her to lend him her water card, as he has forgotten to bring his own. Linshi immediately refuses, and with a cold attitude, she asks him who he thinks he is and whether she knows him at all, as she wants to give him a taste of his own behavior. In response, Jiang introduces himself politely and tells her that he is happy to meet her. Both of them continue pretending to be strangers, even though they know each other very well. And Linshi tells him directly that she feels no happiness in meeting him. After that, she denies lending her water card to him and walks away. Some other girls who were watching the whole fiasco in silence come forward to Jiang and offer their water cards, but he refuses all of them. For him, the water card was just an excuse, as what he truly wanted was a chance to talk to Linshi. Later, while walking home from school, Luchan casually asks Shinny about her weekend plans. Shinny replies that she might visit the aquarium, and the moment Linshi hears this, she drifts deep into her thoughts. In a flashback, it is shown that Jiang and Linshi once planned to visit the aquarium together to see the jellyfish, but now that their friendship has ended, Linshi feels no desire to go. She tells everyone that she is not interested, but Luchan explains that Shinny is upset, and going to the aquarium will lift her mood. He tells Linshi that she should join them too, and she agrees for her friend's sake. However, the next day, Shinny suddenly cancels the plan herself, saying that she has some important work to do. As a result, Luchan takes Linshi to the aquarium himself. While the two of them are watching the dolphin show, Fengshu spots them together and quietly begins taking their pictures. Later, when Linshi returns home and meets Shinny, she is surprised to find her leisurely watching television at home the entire day, which makes it clear that she purposely avoided going with them. At that moment, Linshi realizes that Shinny canceled the plan because she has a crush on Luchan and didn't think she could handle being alone with him. Linshi suggests Shinny to talk directly to Luchan and confess her feelings, but Shinny refuses to do that because she fears that doing so might ruin their friendship. The next day at school, Fengshu goes to Jiang and tells him that he saw Luchan and Linshi together and that something might be going on between them. Jiang responds with confidence, stating that it is impossible to happen, and asks Fengshu to get lost, but his comment still leaves him unsettled. After class, Jiang walks up to Linshi and hands her a bottle, while telling her to keep it with her and simply fill it with water, after which he walks away. Linshi turns red with anger and feels that she should have thrown the bottle at his head, but she controls herself because the entire class is watching. She refuses to follow Jiang's instructions, and the class monitor eventually fills water for Jiang. However, when Linshi returns to the classroom, she sees her own bottle filled along with a note on the desk that reads, "I am sorry." She mistakenly assumes that Jiang wrote it, while in reality, it was the class monitor who had filled her bottle, and the misunderstanding leaves Linshi feeling slightly embarrassed. During the physical education class, Jiang and Luchan end up competing in a running event. Many girls cheer for Jiang, while Linshi finds herself unable to decide whom she should support and ends up shouting without taking anyone's name. After the race, Jiang approaches Luchan and demands the letters he sent, telling him to return every one of them and to stay away from Linshi because he is not good for her. Luchan replies that it is Jiang who has confused her heart in the first place, and he refuses to back off before walking away. Soon after, it is the girl's turn to run, and Linshi gathers all her strength to run with full energy and finishes second in the race. However, immediately after crossing the line, she collapses and falls on the ground. Luchan immediately rushes Linshi to the infirmary with his friends, the moment where, after examining her, the doctor announces that she has suffered from a heat stroke, which makes everyone anxious. Meanwhile, Jiang, who had stepped out to buy Linshi a drink, panics on learning that she had fainted. He rushes back to the infirmary instantly, but by the time he reaches the room, all the students had already returned to class, leaving only Jiang and Linshi in the quiet space. Linshi is lying unconscious on the bed, and as she drifts into a dream, she imagines herself lying sick with Jiang sitting beside her. In her dream, he is taking care of her with gentle hands, and the dream feels so real that she murmurs in her sleep that she always feels better whenever Jiang is near her. When she finally opens her eyes, she is stunned to find that Jiang is indeed sitting next to her in real life, fanning her slowly as if he has been there the whole time. The moment she sees him, she bolts upright and tells him in panic that he must leave immediately, because if anyone sees them together, they will misunderstand the situation. Jiang refuses to move and casually tells her that just moments ago, she was saying that she feels better whenever he is close. He asks her whether he heard her correctly, and it makes Linshi flush red with embarrassment. She strictly tells him that she does not remember anything and then orders him to get out. Even then, Jiang refuses to leave, and Linshi's irritation grows until the doctor returns and questions him about why he is still there. He explains that he and Linshi are classmates, so he came to see her as soon as he heard she was sick. He tries to continue speaking, but Linshi immediately interrupts him and throws a pillow at him, so he finally walks out of the room. After spending some more time in the infirmary, Linshi steps outside and unexpectedly meets Xingyu, who greets her warmly, though Linshi clearly does not wish to talk. Xingyu mentions that she already knows about her friendship with Jiang and says that she heard that they are childhood friends, which makes Linshi ask whether Jiang told her this and what exactly her relationship with him is. Xingyu answers in a roundabout manner, claiming that she and Jiang are simply good friends who help each other and that anything related to love can wait until after college, because for now, their focus remains on studies. Hearing this crushes Linshi completely, but she manages to thank her and starts walking away, only to have Xingyu stop her gently and claim that if she is Jiang's friend, then she considers her a friend as well. Linshi replies that she does not need any more friends and leaves the place without even looking back. That same evening, Shinny tries to teach Linshi how to ride a bicycle and immediately notices that she seems unusually sad and distracted. Before she can ask her anything about it, Shinny's father calls her inside, leaving Linshi alone to continue practicing. She keeps trying again and again, wobbling while paddling the bicycle, yet refusing to give up. Jiang, who has been watching her from his window, rushes out in fear that she might fall, but the moment Linshi sees him, she becomes even more nervous. She loses her balance and crashes to the ground while scraping her hand, which soon starts bleeding. Jiang rushes to help her, but she stops him angrily and demands to know why he came, reminding him that they have already decided to remain only classmates. Jiang explains that he saw her from the window and became worried, which is why he came. But Linshi gets emotional and she pushes him away. She tells him to keep his distance from her and accuses him of bringing bad luck to her while claiming that she always gets hurt whenever he is near. Jiang tries to remain calm while telling her that he only wants a fresh start and asks Linshi if they can become friends again. But Linshi replies coldly that she does not want to know him anymore and she wishes that she had never met him. Saying this, she picks up her bicycle and rides away with trembling hands while leaving Jiang behind. Later that night, when Linshi opens her old diary, she finds Jiang's name written on nearly every page, reminding her of their memories that were intertwined in every line. Choosing to get a hold on herself, she writes only one statement in the diary, that from this moment on, thinking about Jiang is forbidden because he is no longer her friend. The next day during break, when Linshi returns with a bottle of water, she hears a few girls gossiping about her and Jiang. She boldly walks up to them, and while looking straight into their eyes, she tells them that if they ever talk about Jiang again, they should not attach her name with him, as he is no longer someone special in her life. Later, Linshi is cleaning the school hallway when she suddenly hears the soft cry of a cat and discovers an adorable kitten hiding under the staircase, so she bends down and starts playing with it. A moment later, Jiang appears behind her and mentions casually that he brought this cat long before her transfer to the school, further adding that he likes it just the way both of them once liked Poo-Poo, the rabbit. Hearing this, Linshi becomes furious and raises her voice at him. She tells him not to mention Poo-Poo's name anymore and not to bring up anything connected to it because he has no right to talk about it and because this cat can never take the rabbit's place. Jiang asks in frustration why she is getting so angry when it is just a cat and when he simply likes it, but this only escalates the argument and the two of them start fighting again. In her anger, Linshi even picks up a stone, and before she could do something reckless, Lushan and a few other students arrive to stop her just in time. Their shouting attracts the principal, who steps in immediately and gives both of them strict punishment for their behavior. After this incident, Linshi finally calms down and apologizes to Jiang for the things she said in anger, and Jiang apologizes as well, allowing the matter to settle peacefully. Afterwards, Shinny claims that Linshi is angry at Jiang because she sees herself as the rabbit and Xingyu as the cat, implying that one cannot like both at the same time. Linshi denies the idea angrily and shouts that she refuses to accept such a comparison, even though the pain in her eyes makes it clear that Shinny's words have struck a nerve. Their conversation slowly turns into an argument, and Linshi finally tells her not to mention that boy's name in front of her because he has become a stranger to her and she has nothing to do with him anymore. On the other hand, before leaving for the training camp, Jiang actually considers asking Linshi to look after his cat, but he is unable to gather the courage to speak to her, so he leaves without saying anything. Eventually, Linshi returns to the cat with tasty food, after which she starts taking care of it gently, and even tells it softly that it is important to her as well. Even though she claims to hate Jiang, Linshi knows that her affection for her childhood memories is still alive, and she cannot erase that part of herself. One day, it starts raining heavily all of a sudden, and all the students run toward the bus. But Linshi suddenly remembers that she should keep the cat somewhere safe so it does not get caught in the storm. Ignoring the rain soaking her clothes, she rushes back across the campus and finds the cat hiding in a cramped little space. Without thinking twice, she crawls inside to reach it, but once she gets in, she realizes that getting out won't be easy. At that moment, Jiang arrives with an umbrella and finds her trapped inside. Linshi asks him for help, telling him to get her out, but Jiang replies that since they are supposed to be strangers and only classmates, he wonders why he should risk anything to help her. He tells her bluntly that she must either accept everything honestly or be ready to stay trapped right where she is. Left with no choice, Linchi reluctantly agrees and starts praising him in embarrassment, saying that he is handsome, tall, intelligent, and a good person, and then calls him Mr. Stranger before asking him to help her out. Jiang finally agrees, reaches inside, and pulls her out safely from the tight space. Afterwards, Linchi starts to walk away and does not even turn around to look back at Jiang, who got stuck in the same cramped space now. He tells her that she should help him as well and asks her to get him out of the place. She responds that Mr. Stranger should handle his cat and get out by himself. Jiang ends up alone, struggling to get out, while Linchi watches him from a distance and quietly leaves for home only after she sees him come out safely. Linchi then reaches Shini's house, completely drenched, and Shini gets angry at her for humiliating herself so much because of Jiang. Shini asks why Linchi keeps doing this and urges her to make things clear. She says that if Jiang wants friendship, then fine, but if he does not, she should keep her distance. Linchi insists that she went there only for the little cat because it is very cute, and claims that it has nothing to do with Jiang, but Shini does not believe her since she knows what Linchi truly feels. The next morning, Linchi boards the school bus with the rest of her friends. As Shini rides her bicycle, she spots Jiang and immediately asks him if he is ignoring Linchi because of Xingyu. Jiang quickly denies it and says that such a thing is impossible, but her words disturb him, and he begins to wonder if Linchi thinks the same way about him. Shini hands him her bicycle and tells him to follow the bus and clear everything up. Jiang wastes no time and starts chasing the bus, calling out Linchi's name. When Linchi notices him following her on a bicycle, she decides to get off the bus herself for his safety and asks him why he has followed her. Jiang remains silent for a moment and then apologizes to her while asking her to forgive him. Hearing this softens her heart, and they catch the next bus together. During the ride, Linchi urges him to speak and asks why he never contacted her for so many years and why he never replied to any of her letters. Jiang explains that when he returned to the city, his mother sent him directly to the math center and even disconnected the phone line so he could not reach anyone. According to him, she kept making excuses, and he kept believing her. Hearing this brings tears to Linchi's eyes, and she tells him through her sobs that he should have told her everything earlier because she blamed him without understanding his situation. She says that if he had called even once to explain, she would never have been angry with him. Jiang becomes upset as well because he had been helpless. He recalls how one day, after getting tired of his mother's false promises, he tried to leave home on his own to meet Linchi, and he was almost at her village when his mother caught him. When she saw him moving forward, she threatened him and said that if he took even one more step, she would make all his friends disappear from his life. Jiang's mother was extremely serious, and he began to fear that she might actually harm his friends, so he stopped right there. He couldn't take another step forward and returned home with a heavy heart. In the present, Linchi's misunderstanding finally disappears, and the two walk to school together. She smiles a little at him, and he tells her that everything is clear now. Linchi replies that she has not yet decided whether she should forgive him and will think about it, and after saying this, she walks ahead. During lunch break, when Linchi tells her friends about Jiang's helpless situation, they finally understand that it was his mother who stopped him from meeting them. Luchan freezes in shock upon hearing this, not revealing the real reasons behind it. All the friends then decide that they will arrange a meeting between Jiang and Linchi so the two can become friends again. Since Jiang's mother has gone to inspect a construction site, they believe that this is the perfect opportunity to do so. According to their plan, Luchan pretends that he needs help with a math question and approaches Jiang. He places a test paper in front of him, and on it, Linchi has written that she wants to meet him in the evening. As soon as Jiang reads the note, he quickly agrees, and their meeting gets fixed. Xingyu observes all of the events and begins to grow suspicious. When Linchi returns home after school, she starts getting ready, and choosing a dress takes her a long time. On the other hand, Jiang also feels restless because he is eager to meet his childhood friend. He nervously stands in front of the mirror and starts checking whether he looks fine. Finally, Linchi selects a dress, visibly excited for the meeting. She feels a little confused, a little shy, and full of anticipation because it feels like she is going on a date. She leaves her house as soon as she gets ready, and on the way, Shini spots her and teasingly asks where she is going so cheerfully and what she is carrying in her hand. Linshi tries telling her that it is nothing and just her diary, but her friend immediately understands everything. Shinny confronts her that she must be going to meet Jiang, after which she starts teasing her. Shinny tells Linshi that she has surrendered so soon while worrying that she might lose her upper hand in the situation. Linshi explains to her that she only wants to meet him so she can understand what he thinks about her, as well as about all of them. Shinny starts laughing and claims that Linshi has now begun thinking about him very seriously. Linshi feels some truth in this statement that she doesn't want to think too much about, so she makes the excuse of getting late and starts to leave, but after walking a few steps, she comes back again. She asks Shinny to tell her honestly about how she looks, and Shinny makes a few adjustments to her dress before she finally sets off. On the other side, as soon as Jiang steps out of his house to meet Linshi, an unexpected problem appears because his mother catches him. The smile disappears from his face because his mother immediately realizes where he is heading and warns him that if he goes, she will call Linshi's parents to the construction site so they will know that they should take care of their daughter. Hearing this, Jiang stops in his tracks, realizing that if he goes to meet Linshi, his mother will make sure to keep him away from her. Jiang argues with his mother, but despite his efforts, nothing changes, and he silently returns home, sacrificing his desires to ensure he does not lose Linshi forever. His father sees his wife's anger and asks why she always restricts their son's freedom, but she shifts the blame to him, alleging that if he had not gone to the village, none of this would have happened. Their argument escalates further when Jiang's mother soon starts blaming Linshi's parents. Linian's father overhears everything and immediately calls Linshi's dad to explain the situation. The conflict between Jiang's parents intensifies, with both shouting at each other loudly and drawing a crowd of neighbors outside their house. Seeing the tense situation, Linshi's parents rush to Jiang's home to intervene and calm everyone down. Meanwhile, Linshi waits for Jiang impatiently, and after a while, Luchan arrives, but he does not reveal anything and instead simply asks her to head back. On the other side, seeing Linshi's parents in his house, Jiang decides to take all the blame upon himself. He tells them that he is the one who planned to meet Linshi and that she is not at fault. He adds that he is ready to join the training camp and he will do exactly what his mother wants him to. Meanwhile, as Linshi returns home, she notices her parents leaving Jiang's house. She immediately senses that something must have happened, and on seeing her parents looking upset, Linshi begins to feel guilty, thinking that she might have caused trouble for them. However, her parents reassure her, saying that they are not angry with her and that she should not worry. They assure her that nothing bad has happened and they trust that she did nothing wrong. Hearing this, tears come to Linshi's eyes, and she starts suspecting that Jiang's mother might have said unpleasant things to her parents, but her father assures her that nothing like that happened. At that moment, Jiang's car passes by, and he looks at Linshi sadly before driving away. Linshi feels sad too, and tells her parents that she and Jiang are childhood friends, and that is difficult to change. Her parents agree, but explain that they are helpless and cannot fully support her, no matter how much they want to. The next morning, when Linshi arrives at school, she wonders aloud to her friends how Jiang's mother could have known that she and Jiang were planning to meet when she was in another city. She suspects someone must have gossiped, and her friends start suspecting each other, but they all suspect Luchan the most. Once in class, Linshi misses Jiang and notices that he is absent. She worries how many more days he might not come to school. Later, Luchan tells her that the test paper with the meeting note has gone missing. As soon as Linshi hears this, she wants to interrogate Feng Shu to find the truth, but in the commotion, she accidentally kicks him while interrogating him. Feng Shu gets furious and red with anger, so he runs straight to the teacher's office and complains to her that Linshi and Luchan are dating. He also claims that he saw them together at the aquarium and even presents some photos as evidence. When the teacher questions Linshi and Luchan, they refuse to accept any of the false claims. The teacher then calls both their mothers to clarify, but the parents defend their children, saying that they have grown up together since childhood. They claim that Linshi and Luchan are like siblings and that nothing inappropriate is happening between them. The teacher believes their explanation and the matter should have ended there, but unfortunately, it does not. Later, Luchan's mother comes to the class to clear up the rumors, and when she calls Linshi Ling Tao, her secret is exposed. Everyone realizes that Linshi is the girl who used to write letters to Jiang. Poor Linshi feels embarrassed as rumors about her spread all over the school. Girls start gossiping about her, and the atmosphere becomes tense. Jiang learns about the rumors and decides to return to protect Linshi, but Linshi seems unaffected by them. She always ignores the gossips by putting her earphones on and listening to music while blocking out everyone else. Even though Linshi has chosen to stay silent, her friends have decided to fight for her. Whenever Lu Chan sees anyone gossiping about Linshi, he becomes very angry and heads straight up to confront them. Even the class monitor has continued to look after Linshi just as he did before. Even though everybody is trying so much, still Linshi cannot concentrate on her studies and starts to feel incomplete without Jiang. Finally, one day after thinking for a while, she decides to go to the training center to meet him. As soon as the school ends, she asks her friends to accompany her, but everyone refuses to do that. Linshi keeps insisting and requesting and finally manages to convince Lu Chan as well as Linian to go with her. Meanwhile, Jiang hears that rumors about Linshi are spreading in school, so he becomes very worried. He keeps thinking constantly about her safety, and when he can't control himself anymore, he runs toward the gate, determined to leave the school to check on her. At the same time, Linshi and Luchan sneak into the training center without permission to meet Jiang. Unfortunately, the guards spot them while trespassing and catch them immediately. Luchan tries to distract them and starts running in the opposite direction, but Linshi stays behind as she keeps sitting there with a heavy heart, so she gets caught. But Jiang arrives there just as a teacher named Han tries to push Linshi out of the center. When Linshi sees Jiang, she raises her voice and shouts that she is there to find her rabbit, which is extremely important to her. She tells him that if anyone sees the rabbit, they should tell it not to worry, as she can manage everything herself. What she actually wants to say is that Jiang should not worry about her, and he understands it immediately. Furthermore, Linshi also asks him to pass her message to any classmate who sees the rabbit. Teacher Han asks Jiang why he is there, and he replies that he is looking for his cat. Both of them are speaking in a code in which Jiang is the rabbit and Linshi is the cat. He tells the teacher that his cat is very cute with a red nose like a cherry, and the cat is very important to him. Linshi immediately understands that he is talking about her, and they both start smiling while staring at each other. Jiang was worried for Linshi, as he thought that people might start misbehaving with her because of the rumors. He was aware of the possibility of how people might treat her badly, but after seeing her now, he realizes that she is tough enough to face everything on her own. He starts feeling relieved after realizing that he does not need to worry about her anymore. However, even though they are close right now, there is still a distance between them, and both start feeling helpless in that moment. Before leaving, Linshi tells Jiang to take care of himself, and he replies with the same words while silently promising to stay safe. After that, Linshi returns with a heavy heart, but as soon as she starts leaving the training center, she notices a street singer performing. Seeing this, she gets an idea, and she goes out with her friends to find a location close to Jiang's hostel. After searching for a while, they finally find a perfect spot, which right in front, the boys' hostel where Jiang is staying. Linshi picks up the microphone and starts humming, and this is the first time she is singing for someone. Jiang recognizes her voice immediately, and from his hostel room, he starts switching the lamp on and off so Linshi knows that he can hear her. When Linshi sees the light, her heart feels relieved. She realizes that he has not forgotten her, and she can never forget him either. The romantic moment ends there, and Linshi leaves with her friends. The next morning, Linian comes to tell Linshi that her rank has dropped in the recent exams, and she is now at the 5th place from the bottom. Linshi can't believe that, and Linian reassures her, saying that he is telling the truth and that he got 3rd place, but from the bottom as well, so they are dumb twins now. Linshi gets irritated with his jokes and scolds him, threatening to bury him right there if he doesn't stop. However, her problems soon start increasing for Linshi when a classmate advises Luchan to stay away from her so her grades do not drop. Luchan becomes furious when he hears this and pushes the boy to the ground. The teacher comes there after learning about the commotion, and she scolds both the boy for their behavior. Then she calls Linshi aside and asks if she is upset by what the classmates are saying about her. Linshi shakes her head in denial and claims that she is not upset by anything. She further states that she does not hold any grudges against her classmates, and the teacher notices something troublesome about her behavior. The teacher warns Linshi that constantly hanging out with boys is not appropriate because people might misunderstand, and further adds that surviving at the middle school without focusing on studies is difficult. She also warns that if her grades drop next time, she could even be expelled. Linshi responds seriously, saying that her relationship with Luchan, Yu Shushang, and Linian is purely platonic and they were her best friends first and then classmates. She says that no one's words can affect her, as they are friends, and they will remain friends forever. She asks if having friendships goes against school rules, and the teacher confirms it does not. Linshi promises that if her grades fall, she will take responsibility and work harder to match everyone else. However, after securing the 5th position from the bottom, Linshi starts feeling upset. But luckily, her parents turn out to be very open-minded. They do not scold her, but instead reassure her, stating that she has performed well in the exams and asking her not to worry about her grades. Her mother tells her that she has prepared some mental exercises to help her mind work faster so that next time she can achieve 5th from the top instead of the bottom. When Linshi shares this news with Luchan and Linian, they both laugh, which further fuels her anger, so she sternly tells them that it is enough and that they need to study seriously, or else they will face even more embarrassment next time, which they cannot tolerate. Linshi sits down to study but cannot focus properly, burdened both by the sadness of being separated from her childhood friends and the pressure of her studies. At that moment, Luchan arrives at her house and takes her along with him. He hands her a balloon and tells her not to let it touch the ground, explaining that it will carry her stress away into the air and help her concentrate on her studies. Linshi starts following his advice, and soon, Shinny also arrives, feeling upset because his brother has changed her phone ringtone. When Linshi hears this, she gives Luchan's phone to Shinny so that she can change her ringtone back. As soon as Shinny takes the phone in her hands, the love compatibility menu opens unexpectedly, revealing something she did not expect. Linshi and Luchan's love compatibility score is over 80%. From here, it becomes clear to Shinny that Luchan has a secret crush on Linshi, although it seems that he did not set this love index himself. Seeing all this, Shinny feels heartbroken because she also likes Luchan. She gets upset and tells Linshi that there is no need to say anything further and starts leaving. Linshi also gets angry with Luchan on realizing this and returns him his phone. After this, she rushes behind Shinny while trying to talk to her, but Shinny refuses to listen, and this creates a misunderstanding between them. Meanwhile, other friends notice that Shinny is upset with Linshi, but they do not know the real reason. Linshi decides to keep her distance from everyone else so that she can spend more time with Shinny. The school's Sports Day festival is approaching, and Luchan wishes for Linshi to become the cheerleader for the basketball match. Therefore, he signs her up for the position, but Linshi does not want to become the cheerleader, so she goes to the teacher to withdraw her name. However, when she sees her best friend Shinny there, she changes her mind and decides to stay, as she wanted to be around Shinny to clear the misunderstanding. Meanwhile, Xingyu also signs up for the cheerleader position while aiming to impress Jiang. The teacher announces that whoever dances the best will become the leader. Hearing this, Linshi suggests Shinny's name for the leader position. The next day, when Linshi is practicing with Shinny, Shinny suddenly falls, and Linshi feels slightly worried. No one seems to care about them, and most of the girls are sticking with Xingyu. Linshi is also struggling to dance well, so Shinny starts giving her training, and both of them start working very hard together. That night, when Linshi is returning home, Linian tells her that Jiang has called him and that he gives her his number, asking her to talk to him. Linshi feels thrilled and runs home after hearing this. As soon as she picks up the phone, Jiang calls at the exact same moment. Hearing his voice makes her face light up and they talk for a little while, but Linshi does not want to disturb him more, so she ends the call. The next day, while all the girls are dancing, Xingyu suddenly falls and starts blaming Linshi for making her fall. Linshi tells her not to lie and tries clarifying that Xingyu was the one who tripped her. It turns out that Xingyu is deliberately causing a scene and sabotage Linshi because she doesn't want her to become the cheerleader. On top of this, Linshi starts feeling that Shinny is deliberately keeping her away. Her mother tries to explain that it might not be like that, as Shinny must be having some unavoidable reason for behaving like that. Later, Linchi's father hears something on the phone and takes his wife aside to tell her that Shinny's dad is unwell and has been admitted to the hospital. Linchi also hears this and becomes worried, as now she understands that Shinny was not ignoring her intentionally, but was actually worried because of her father. At the hospital, all friends gather near Shinny's father, showing that they support each other during difficult times. Linchi goes to Mr. Shin's shop, where she finds Shinny quietly arranging the items. When Linchi starts helping her, Shinny tells her that she can manage everything on her own. Linchi does not get upset by this, and while bringing water, she accidentally bumps into Shinny. A glass slips from her hands and breaks into pieces, so Shinny immediately apologizes for it. But soon, both of the friends stare at each other and start laughing. After this, Shinny asks if Linchi was upset because she could not come with her that day. Linchi replies that she could never be frustrated with her and that she knows Shinny cannot stay away from her for long. Shinny admits that she had misunderstood the situation between Linchi and Luchan. She explains that Luchan actually likes Linchi, and it was his younger brother who had set up the love compatibility menu, as he wants Linchi to become his sister-in-law. Hearing this, Linchi feels frustrated and says that she will ask Luchan everything herself. Shinny stops her and tells her to wait, advising her to let this go for now and pretend that she knows nothing. Linchi understands her advice as she realizes that if she reveals everything, it might create a rift in the friendship, which would not be right. The next day at school, while basketball practice continues on one side, Linchi is busy practicing with her classmates on the other side. Later, her friends share exciting news that Jiang is coming to the school to participate in the maths competition and that she will get a chance to meet him. Hearing this, Linchi feels thrilled, and her friends start teasing her, stating that now Jiang will also watch her dance. At that moment, Linchi starts blushing as if she's in love with Jiang. Soon, the basketball match is about to start, and today is also the final rehearsal for the cheerleader girls. Shinny was busy taking care of her dad last night, preventing her from getting any rest properly. When her classmates wake her up to start the practice, Shinny falls down on the ground. Xingyu immediately takes advantage of the situation and tells the teacher that she should remove Shinny, Linchi, and her two other group members from the team. Considering the safety concerns, the teacher agrees to it while Linchi and Shinny decide to come up with an idea. They do not want the hard work of the other two girls to go in vain, so they start thinking about ways to convince the teacher to let them in. Meanwhile, Jiang arrives at the school with his mom, and she warns her son not to meet anyone. Linchi already knew that Jiang was coming to school, so she had asked her mother earlier to prepare his favorite dishes and cake so that she could serve him. Meanwhile, Shinny's dream of becoming the cheerleader is still alive, as the teacher has understood the feelings of Linchi and the other members. So she gives Linchi a chance to perform in the lifting position instead of Shinny, and it ruins Xingyu's plan completely. The basketball game is about to begin, and the cheerleaders also enter the field. When they come out wearing red and white floral dresses, they look exactly like fairies. Seeing Linchi in the cheerleader dress, Luchan, Yushang, and Linian are so surprised that they cannot even blink. They do not realize that the little girl who grew up with them could be so beautiful. The basketball match begins, and everyone is very excited, but the real highlight is the cheerleader girls' performance. As soon as they come on stage, everyone claps to welcome them. Jiang is also present in the principal's office with his mom. He looks very restless and he wants to meet with his girl, so he finds an excuse to go to the washroom and runs straight towards the playground. When he sees Linchi performing on stage with full energy, he becomes completely excited. His eyes do not leave Linchi even for a second, and it becomes clear that he has feelings for Linchi. Linchi notices him too, as it was a perfect moment that may not come again. After the performance, the principal calls all the cheerleader girls for a group photo, and Jiang is already there with his mom. As soon as he and Linchi spot each other, they start smiling. The principal asks Jiang to stand with the cheerleaders for the photo, so Jiang goes straight to Linchi and stands next to her. Both of them feel happiness and peace in their hearts and think that whether they meet again or not, they should enjoy this beautiful moment for now. Everyone is happy except for Xingyu, who is busy searching for a chance to impress Jiang. At the same time, Jiang's mom plans to take her son directly to the training center so that he does not meet Linchi. Everything is going according to her plan when suddenly she gets called back to the office for urgent work. Before leaving, she instructs her driver to take Jiang straight to the training center, But since the driver was already starving, he goes to have lunch first. Now, Jiang and Linshi have only 30 minutes, so Linshi and her classmates hurry to reach there and meet Jiang. Linshi takes Jiang to a secret place where Jiang happily enjoys the delicious food prepared by Linshi's mom. Linshi is also very happy, and though not exactly romantic, the two of them soon gets engaged in their happy talks. But there was someone else who was burning with jealousy inside. It is Jingyu, who is clearly not happy to see them together. She knows that Linshi was meeting with Jiang, so she makes a plan with Fengshu to defame Linshi and tell everything to Jiang's mom. Meanwhile, Luchan and the other friends keep watch all around to make sure no one reaches Linshi and Jiang. Then they notice two girls, known for gossiping everywhere, quietly heading toward the alley where Linshi and Jiang are. The friends try to stop them, and Shinny immediately calls Linshi to inform her. After receiving Shinny's call, Linshi grabs Jiang's hand, and they both start running away. On the way, they encounter a tall wall, so Jiang lifts Linshi onto his shoulder and helps her cross it. Before he can put her down, a stray dog starts chasing them. Jiang panics and starts running with Linshi on his shoulders when suddenly a motorcycle collides with them and they both fall down. When Jiang lifts Linshi up, she sees blood coming from his forehead, and seeing this, Linshi loses consciousness. They both reach the hospital, where Linshi starts blaming herself and feels guilty that Jiang got hurt because of her. She worries that if his injury is serious, it could affect his studies. Thankfully, he has no internal injuries, and his brain is unharmed. Knowing this gives Linshi some relief, but she realizes that their troubles are not over yet. The next day, when Linshi starts heading toward the classroom, Luchan stops her. He is worried that Xingyu might hurt her with her poisonous words, but Linshi tells him that she does not need to be afraid of anyone and that she can face everything on her own. The classroom atmosphere feels a little emotional as well, where Xingyu is busy crying because Jiang spent time with Linshi instead of her, and some girls are consoling her, as if Jiang were her husband. As soon as Linshi enters the class, Xingyu and her followers surround her. Xingyu is about to accuse her of something serious, and her friend Xinggu asks Linshi why she hurt Jiang. Linshi boldly replies that she and Jiang only want to be best friends, just like they were in childhood. Hearing this, everyone understands that Linshi and Jiang are childhood friends. Xingyu becomes silent as she is left with nothing more to say, so she quietly goes and sits on her seat. Meanwhile, Jiang's dad takes him home from the hospital, and Jiang feels sad because his mom has always treated him like his older son's shadow. He wonders how long this situation will continue, as his mom has even restricted his freedom. Jiang clearly tells his dad that if his mom tries to take revenge on Linshi or her family, or sends them to the village, he should report it as a misuse of power. However, his dad remains silent, and when his mom comes home, she sees Jiang's sad face. This time, however, his dad shows courage and openly supports Jiang. Seeing that both her husband and son are against her, Jiang's mom goes alone to Linshi's house and tells her that she should have raised her daughter properly. Hearing this, Linshi feels awful and is about to reply, but her mom stops her. Later, Linshi follows Jiang's mom and hands her the medical expenses. Jiang's mom asks her if she has anything to say, and Linshi replies that she just wants Jiang to be her friend. Hearing this, the vile woman warns her that if she continues to insist on having her way, she might permanently fracture the relationship between her and her son. Hearing these words, Linshi feels a strange confusion in her heart, as Jiang's mom wants her to stay away from him, and she doesn't know if she can do that.